What's up, you guys? It's Layla Lynn, and I'm back with a new video. Last night was the final installment of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion. And what did y'all think? What were y'all's first thoughts? Leave a comment. Let me know your first thoughts. In this video, I actually want to talk about what Shamea posted on social media, which was an apology. It was Dear Sweet 16, and she posted like a vlog style video on her YouTube channel. And at the end, there was an apology. There was also a prayer service. There was a prayer service and an apology. And it was real interesting. It was real interesting. There were some things said by her mom and it was either her aunt or her cousin that came in and prayed with her. There were some things said that I agree with. There were some things said that I did not agree with. But in any case, we're going to get into it in this video. If you're not familiar with me, I'm Layla Lynn, cover celebrity news and nostalgia as well as the Real Housewives. So if you like this type of content, subscribe to this channel. And if you are dating, I want you to join my Patreon, the Soft Girl Syndicate, where we are talking about feminine communication. I'm doing feminine communication workshops because in 2025, I feel like at this point, there's not a man alive that goes on social media that hasn't been touched by the rhetoric where they want to date a woman who is feminine, who communicates with them in a feminine way. And so, if you want to date a man, I'm giving you the toolkit, like the techniques to use to communicate in a feminine way. It's teaching you like techniques, a toolkit, so that you have the skills to date in 2025. Because if you are like me, like if you were brought up in a Christian household, went to a Christian church and things like that, even some other religions, like you weren't taught how to date. Like there's no dating culture. You weren't taught how to date. You were taught how to be a wife. But in the Soft Girl Syndicate, I'm teaching you like how to date and how to recognize manipulation tactics and things like that. All of the things that people are doing to you. I'm teaching you how to spot all of that and how to deal with it in my Soft Girl Syndicate, August 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're having our first syndicate, our first workshop, Fight Like a Girl, Win Like a Woman, where I'm teaching you the techniques to do just that. So sign up at the link in my description box. All right, you guys. So I want to start off by sharing the apology that Shamea gave. And let me just preface it with saying, because in the comments, a lot of people were saying that they thought Shamea's husband forced her to apologize. Because if you've ever been married to a controlling man or a narcissistic man, you've probably been forced to apologize to some people that you were really not sorry. Like you were really not sorry, but you had to apologize for his sake, like for the sake of his reputation. But that's not actually what's going on here. It's her family. Her mom and her aunt encouraged her to apologize, not her husband.
Okay, well, guys, with that being said,
So you could kind of see her mom and her aunt leaving the room. Just for the record, if you guys are not going to go watch her full video, just for the record, it was her mom and her aunt that encouraged her to apologize.
my elders and my family, they never steer me wrong. So I just want to start by saying to all of the ladies on Sweet 16 cast, starting with Portia, Drew, Angela, Britt.
This music is killing me. This sad sob story music is killing me.
Kenya, Cynthia, Kelly. I'm sorry. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Phaedra even coming in at the end. I'm sorry. If I've ever offended you, if I've made you feel less than, inferior, if I insulted you, hurt you, in any way, I'm sorry. And I hope that we can start fresh. And I wish you nothing but the best. And that prayer, I hope it leaves this room and enters into your heart and your household. And that's a wrap on Sweet 16.
All right, guys. So I don't mean to laugh, but it is a little bit. It's funny to me because it doesn't look genuine or authentic. And like I said, it wasn't Shamea's idea to apologize. It was her mom and her aunt's idea for her to apologize to start fresh. If you notice, when she gave the apology, she said the reason was to start fresh. And so I feel like number one, we know that Shamea is coming back because she said she wanted to start fresh with the ladies. And number two, if you watch the full video, her mother told her to come back. In so many words, her mother said, "It's not time for you to leave. You're shining your light, and people need to see your light. Not just the cast members, but other women in the world need to see your light, and you shouldn't let the enemy basically knock you off. Like, you're on your pedestal." A lot of what her family prayed about was about her being on a pedestal and people seeing her light and not letting the enemy knock her off. And so I feel like Shamea, throughout the season, I feel like we've seen Shamea be what to me comes across as like passive aggressive, definitely passive, but sometimes passive aggressive. And now seeing the way her family speaks to her, it's kind of like, okay, Shamea is not necessarily on this show to be herself. She's on this show to be the bigger person. Like, her goal is not to be Shamea on the show. Her goal is to be the bigger person on the show, because that is what, like, her family, I don't know about her husband, and her mom and her aunt are encouraging her to be a light, to be like a representative, to be the bigger person. And I talked in another video about that respectability politics and trying to be this and trying to be that, how it doesn't work. If people don't want to respect you, they are not going to respect you no matter what you do. So when it comes to reality TV, not necessarily real life, but reality TV, I don't think it works trying to be the bigger person, because then, like, Shamea comes across like she's not being authentic. A lot of her feelings she's keeping to herself. She's not confronting people that she probably needs to confront to put everything out on the table. But I just want to review what her mom and her aunt said to her. Her mom started off saying that the other cast members have strayed away from the teachings of their parents. She said other people are loud because they're embarrassed, and that's why they talk over her. And if you watch the episode on Shamea's channel, she said that she felt like she didn't always get her point across. Like, basically, she was being talked over. She was forgetting points that she wanted to make because she was being talked over. And so I think that was a reference to Portia cutting her off, talking over her, telling her this is not her time to talk, when actually it was. It was her time to talk. It was her time to get stuff off her chest. It was. But her mom went on to say, the Lord will make your enemies your footstool, implying that if Portia is her enemy, she's soon going to be her footstool. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, because I just have a personal philosophy that everybody is equal. And I know when it comes to religion and things like that, people say I'm a light, this person's my footstool, all these type of things, but it's just my personal philosophy that we're all equal. Shamea went on to insist that she had one wedding, not two, even though Portia posted a post from Shamea's page where she referred to her ceremony in Atlanta. She referred to it as a wedding and a dowry ceremony. She said it was both. She also said, Shamea said she doesn't have the energy to go back and forth with people. And she wonders if the friendship she had with Portia was a real friendship, like from the start. Was it ever a real friendship? And I think it's good that she's like wondering that. I think it's good that she's reflecting and wondering, was this person really my friend? But I also think she should ask herself, was I really their friend? Or was I just trying to share the spotlight with them? Because Shamea said on the Breakfast Club that they weren't that close until Portia got married. But Portia got married around the same time she got on the show. So it looks like Shamea wanted to share the spotlight with Portia. Now, her mom also addressed the comment that Miss Diane made about be careful of the dog that brings a bone, because they'll take a bone. And her mom said, ain't no dogs in this family. Dogs will lick anybody's butt, and we don't have nobody like that in our family. Okay. So she addressed that. And her aunt said some things that were really important about having to cut people out of your life. And she compared it to when a man gets circumcised. And her aunt was saying that Shamea needed to cut people out of her life. Even if she is walking in her season, that doesn't mean her season is going to be easy. And it doesn't mean that she won't have to excise people and things that are not good for her. So it sounded like her aunt was implying that she cut Portia out of her life. And I do kind of agree. I don't think she should mend that friendship with Portia. I do think she should cut it off because it seems toxic. And I feel like sometimes we try too hard to mend things that are actually toxic. Like, we need to let it go. Like, everything will be okay, girl. If you're thinking about ending a friendship, a relationship, and let me be the one to tell you, you're going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Like, the world will not end if you end that friendship. Trust me, you will be okay. And it seems like that's what her aunt was also trying to tell her. But one thing that kind of gave me pause was her mom and her aunt. Again, they kept pedestalizing her and telling her basically she was the light of the world. She needed to be a light in a dark place. And I understand the concept of that in general, but in particular, I don't think it's good to see yourself as a light and other people as darkness. I don't think it's good to see people who you had some type of friendship with or association with as your enemies. I don't think Portia is necessarily her enemy. I feel like those words, even though they're biblical, they're a little bit of an exaggeration when it comes to this situation. I don't think Portia and Shamea are actual enemies. But in any case, at the end of the prayer is when the aunt and the mom seem to encourage Shamea to apologize. So that is the reason Shamea apologized, because they were saying sometimes you just got to apologize, even if it's not your fault, and start anew. Like to get a clean slate, you got to apologize and ask for forgiveness, which is kind of like a Christian principle, right? Christianity is based on the concept of asking God for forgiveness for your sins and getting a clean slate. So they wanted her to apply that to this situation. Y'all leave your comments. Let me know what y'all think about that. In my opinion, it came off as inauthentic because when Shamea apologized, she had to say, like, if I did this or if I did that, because it wasn't a real true apology. It was more like, I call it PR work. Like when someone's done you wrong and they apologize, but you could tell they don't mean it, they're just apologizing for PR, in my opinion. You know, we talk about all of these things in my Patreon. I have a video on manipulation tactics. It has more to do with relationships and men. And, you know, sometimes a man will do you wrong and apologize, but it's not a true apology. It's just to manipulate you so he can, again, have access to you and especially access to your body. And I don't think Shamea was necessarily trying to manipulate people, but the reason she apologized was to get a fresh slate with people. And that's why her apology wasn't that authentic. Y'all leave a comment. Let me know what y'all thought about it. As always, thanks for watching. Now, if you made it this far to the end of the video, then I think you like my content. So make sure you subscribe and check out my channel. I have over 1,000 videos on my channel. Check out my playlist and my podcast, and I assure you, you will like more of my content.